They went on a retreat after the recording of their first album and tour, and they took like a little break to kind of figure out album number 2.
What kind of retreat do you think it was?
They went up, like, rented a cabin in, like, Nevada. And, like,
they didn't, like, go to, like, camp.
No.
That would have been funny, though. They're like, we went ziplining, and we went and we blobbed, and we did archery, and we did finger painting, and we had a siesta in the afternoon, and that night we had a campfire.
And we ate s'mores and told ghost stories. Hey, howdy, hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Mike's Monday Jams, the official podcast for music appreciators everywhere. Today we're going to be talking about the song Northern Downpour by the band Panic at the Disco. Let's get it. Well, we've got the Monday Jam for April 8th, 2024. Got some birthdays we want to highlight. Big birthday week on the show, so we'd like to wish a very, very happy birthday to Miss Tori Boudreau
a loyal
this
listener.
past week. A very, very happy birthday to Jen Bowman this past week. Very happy birthday to my mom, and a very, very happy birthday to Dr. Pearson, who is actually today, April 8th. So how about that? We've got a bit of a deeper one for you today, but it's Eclipse Day, so that's pretty exciting.
Don't burn your eyes. Everybody's talking about the eyes.
Don't do that.
I didn't realize, like, I feel like there was so much hype over the one when we were in high school. I didn't realize this one was, like, as big until, like, this week.
I mean, it's a total lunar eclipse.
I thought it was like less important, and then like this week everybody's talking about it. I'm like, wait a second, it's like I mean, we got out of school.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I think it's like we have a 90% view window from where we're located in Connecticut, but there's a large portion of the country that is getting a big.
Look at that big slash.
Big old diagonal.
And Slash is just a little bit north of us, so yeah.
It is. So we are in like a 90% viewing window, which is pretty cool.
I saw some reel this morning that was this guy being like, are people actually like traveling for this? Because I guess he's in like the window or whatever. And he was like, I just had somebody at the grocery store interview me from the news asking if I was stocking up because so many people were coming to town. And I was like, is this really that big of a deal?
It is. I mean, I don't think the next one. So the most recent one was in 2017, but I don't think the next one's for like 25 or 30 years from now. So I think we've been spoiled with lunar eclipses, but.
Okay, well, I wouldn't be that concerned about the groceries. It's not.
It's
not the pandemic. We don't need extra toilet paper for 5 minutes of darkness.
People in their fear mongering, you know. My brother's actually taking the day off, but he's in the window pretty much.
And he really enjoys space.
And he does enjoy space.
So this
is very fitting for him. So he's gonna enjoy it. He's gonna take the time off. He's gonna go look at it. So
what time is it supposed to happen?
I think sometime in the early afternoon. I have to double check though. But
I'm putting it out there now, ESPN. Like, I'm not working for the 5 minutes we're gonna go outside.
You gotta go look at it. I don't like. We got the glasses today, so that's a.
I was concerned about that. I saw another video. It was this morning talking about what happened to somebody's eyes in 2017 when they like didn't use them.
They get fried.
Yeah, it's like it's not like a normal. It's like a sunburn in your eyes. And she has this like dark terrifying spot, and it looks scary. I'm like, man, I don't want that. And then I was like, well, I have my sunglasses, and immediately the dude in the video goes, and sunglasses are not enough.
Well, no, you're looking directly at the sun.
They need to be 100 times darker than your sunglasses. If you put them on inside, you shouldn't be able to see. I was like, oh.
You're like, staring at the sun.
I guess that is true.
So, in 2017, when we looked up at where we were, I feel like It was too cloudy. We couldn't like really see it.
I feel like I tried to convince myself I could see something, but like I feel like
No, it was too cloudy.
it just felt a little cloudier for like
Yep.
a few minutes, and then it was like still cloudy.
Yeah, like there was a tint of more dark, but like not like looking like it. You know, like in Nashville or like parts of Kentucky where it was like dark.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Paducah,
that.
Kentucky.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's a quilting home, I think.
I think so.
Home of quilting.
But alas, I don't think we're obviously going to get that on Monday here. But we will be able to see the moon. Like
Yeah, no, I
if
think
you
we're. I
stare
think
at it.
with like we weren't like. What do you say? It's like 90% here.
Mm-hmm.
In Memphis, when it happened, it was like I think it was like 70.
Oh well, so maybe it'll be.
I think
more.
it's gonna be more.
Okay.
Then we were closer to the line than we were.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll do a little fun reel for it.
Mm-hmm.
Come with us on our eclipse day.
I remember in 2017 we laid down on your driveway.
Didn't really see
Didn't
much.
see a damn
No.
thing.
But we tried.
Mhm.
The effort was there. And again, the next one won't be for a while. A couple decades. So
Yeah.
I guess even if you're not really that interested, like, you know, just take in this spectacle of it all, I suppose. You know. So, but it's Eclipse Day. Our choice from today, Northern Downpour, is on. So I remember reading about this in 2017 for the previous eclipse. NASA posted an article that was eclipses in music, and so then they had like an official eclipse playlist, and this was on it. And funnily enough, another song from the album, Pretty Odd, of today's Monday Jam, was also on the eclipse playlist when the day met the night. So
Oh, I didn't realize that's
Some
why you
Eclipse
picked this. I
music.
thought you just picked it because we really liked it in 2017.
a lot of, I mean, it's multifaceted.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was actually on the Eclipse playlist. That's pretty cool.
The chorus, "Hey moon, please forget to fall down," because you know the moon is eclipsing the sun. But you know, other eclipse jams on the playlist from NASA. You know, "Here Comes the Sun," the Beatles.
Yeah.
"Eclipse" by Pink Floyd. "Sky Full of Stars," Coldplay. You know, not the biggest fan of Coldplay, but they're okay.
I don't like that song.
There's an all-time low song on here. It's called "Under a Paper Moon." Do you know that one? Are you that big of a
That might be one of
all-time
them
lower?
sad ones I don't want to listen to.
Fair? "You're So Vain," Carly Simon. The lyrics, you know, "You flew your Learjet up to Nova Scotia to see a total eclipse of the sun."
Oh.
So, a lot of good jams on this one, but you know, wanted to highlight Northern Downpour because it's one of our faves, but also the article lists other memorable dance tunes that are now long forgotten. And I'm interested in "Eclipse Polka" by
Oh.
Giuseppe Bastolfi.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Oh, gosh.
Shout out Giuseppe. So, you know, it says long forgotten. I'm like, how could we forget about Eclipse Polka?
No, I would never.
So
I'm a big polka girl.
justice for Eclipse Polka.
I be polka-ing left and right every day. Polka-ing up and down.
Polkin instead of poking.
Yeah, no, I'm poking.
Polkin.
I'm poke.
So, this is from NASA's official Eclipse playlist. You're welcome.
That's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick, I might say. It's also the day of the men's basketball championship, college basketball championship, Monday.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
We're recording at the time at which that game has not been decided yet, but
Yeah, no.
we'll see.
So
and then
we've still got
women's was
Sunday.
That's
so
right.
we'll know at this point.
But women's might end up being more watched than men's anyway.
Probably.
So,
Probably.
which is really cool, and the first time it's ever happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Unless,
that's
if the national championship is for women's is NC State and
awesome. Iowa.
no, and UConn, the men might out it. Iowa needs to be in it.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark's got to be a part of it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the girl on UConn people really like too, Paige Beckers, but
Yeah, but she ain't
like
got
Caitlin
that
Clark
NIL.
is the superstar.
Yeah.
No, she does.
Well, not the same.
No.
Caitlin Clark's in like every other commercial on ESPN now.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. She's
Mhm.
pretty awesome. Would not be able to do what she does.
No, not at all.
She hoping.
She's a hooper.
She hoping. But our artist today, Panic! At the Disco, one of your faves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree
Mm-hmm.
with that statement.
How did you discover them?
In like middle school, you know, started listening to the emo bands. You know, not that I was emo at all, really.
Mm-mm. But you got to pretend.
Yeah, like I wasn't emo ever. And I didn't really say I was. Like I just liked the music. But yeah, it was when the songs from Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die were coming out, like the singles, so like Miss Jackson and
Panic at the Disco's fourth album.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got really into it, and I love Brendan Urie.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my favorite of Panic at the Disco's albums.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's the best one? Objectively, no, I think that's Death of a Bachelor,
Mm-hmm.
which would be my second favorite. But this would be my favorite personally,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very Beatles-esque,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a Beatle-y girl,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I have to say.
She loves all kinds of Beatles, dung Beatles,
Mhm.
African Beatles,
Mhm.
house Beatles. Big fan over here.
Yep. I'm actually really grossed out by beetles, the bugs, especially the ones that can bite you. Oh my god.
The ones that have the horns, like
No.
the real big, they can fly. They got wings, they can fly.
You know what? I kind of like Charizard. The fire on the tail, the wings, he can fly.
They have like little horns on them.
Hell nah, bro. No.
Because there's one of them ones is portrayed in A Bug's Life. Obviously, A Bug's Life makes a little bit more agreeable,
Palatable bug.
Yes, portrayals.
No, my mom once got aggressively bit in the back on our couch in our home by one of those biting beetles. And she had these, like, 3 times she got bit by this bug in succession. And then my dad killed it. And she had these 3 big old bite marks on her back.
Oof. Isn't it like the world's most common insect? Or like there's
Really?
like the most...
More than ants?
Well, hold on. Like it has the most like variety. There's something to
Oh.
do with that.
I could believe
It
that.
has the most of something when it
Yeah,
comes to insects.
there's definitely not more beetles than ants, though. But if you're talking about
Fair.
species of beetle, varieties of beetle, sure, there are a lot of them.
I do think it's that.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I don't know. I got a
We're
degree
not an
in
insect
biology,
podcast.
Though. No, we're not. But, you know, we enjoy Panic at the Disco so much. Brendan Urie makes an appearance in every episode right there. Because he signed that one right there. So, always in the cut. Always got to feature him, with
Absolutely.
EC and MC here on the track. But, they're a band that's gone through a lot of changes in their tenure, wouldn't you say?
Well, absolutely. They really, Brendan Urie really valued, like, basically being a different genre every album.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk about eras, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They could really flourish with Brendan Urie could really flourish with an Eras tour, however, he is done.
Yeah,
So-
they don't really are in a band anymore.
No, well, they haven't been a band in a long time. Brendan Urie is done.
Yeah.
But it was just Brendan Urie for many years before Brendan Urie was done.
After this album specifically is when the idea of the band started to go away.
Yeah, but then after Too Weird that they like really weren't
It was
abandoning.
just Brendan, yes.
Yeah.
But after this album and subsequent tour, it was like 2 members left.
Yes.
And then
Because this album has 2 singers. It has Brendan and Ryan. What's his face?
Ryan Ross.
Yes,
Mhm.
and Ryan was like, "Peace out. I'm not
Mhm.
doing this anymore. We're not going to be successful." It's like, well,
Well, dude.
that was incorrect. Because this album didn't do like insanely well.
It did not.
But the fans.
It does
Like
have a cult following, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, but now they unfortunately don't really exist.
No, Brendan said,
He's
"I'm
gonna
having
go
a
have
baby,"
kids. Yeah.
and goodbye music, and I cried.
Like,
I'm sad. I did.
She
I
did.
started crying.
But we did see them on hopefully not their final tour, but
Yeah,
it's
maybe
looking
one
like
day.
it could be.
I
for
feel
now.
like what he's gonna do is maybe after his kids are older, he might he had a stint on Broadway.
He did Kinky Boots.
he might want to do something like that again, or maybe he would just be like a producer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's gonna be full on Panic at the Disco really ever again.
No, but I mean, would you throw Brendan Urie in the Renaissance Man conversation?
Absolutely.
There we go. I
yes.
mean, a theater act, but also a multi-instrumentalist, a vocalist, and somebody who records things at his own studio.
Nearly a comedian. He's very funny.
He is very funny. He's a very goofy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he, being the creative force behind the band now, has kind of hung up the towel for now, per se.
Yeah, it was just him doing everything, and then he had touring musicians.
Yeah. And then, like, obviously collaborators came on the albums for like, the past 2 or 3, you know, to provide input on songs and mixes and whatnot. So, but mostly him. So, but an interesting band nonetheless. And this album specifically came out in March of 2008. And it's one of those, you know, we talk about it. I don't know if we've mentioned this on the show, but we love albums that are named after a lyric. Or vice versa, whatever. Like, the name isn't necessarily like a song title.
Yes.
You have to. It's almost like you have to go digging.
I was about to say you got to dig deeper for
to find it. And so, in the song "That Green Gentleman," the first line is "Things are shaping up to be pretty odd."
Things are shaping up to be pretty odd.
Of course, the album is pretty odd. So we love that on this show.
We love it.
They went on a retreat after the recording of their first album and tour, and they took like a little break to kind of figure out album number 2.
What kind of retreat do you think it was?
They went up, like, rented a cabin in, like, Nevada. And, like,
they didn't, like, go to, like, camp.
No.
That would have been funny, though. They're like, we went ziplining, and we went and we blobbed, and we did archery, and we did finger painting, and we had a siesta in the afternoon, and that night we had a campfire.
And we ate s'mores and told ghost stories. Yeah, I don't think it was anything like that. But they recorded a whole album in that time, completely scrapped it, thought it was all trash.
I wonder what it was like.
Who knows? So then they kind of pivoted and tried to record things from, like, they went, like, very classic rock style, where everything was written on an acoustic guitar. Started with that, like, acoustic guitar, somebody singing, and then, you know, building on from there. So very bare bones and kind of building on, but I think it said in my research that, you know, they wrote like 1 or 2 songs and the rest followed suit pretty quickly. But it's the perfect recreation of something in an updated context, and this was not their intent. Like, they're obviously derived a lot of inspiration from, like, the Beach Boys and the Beatles, but, like, if you talk about, like, the perfect representation of, like, a modern-day Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, it is this album.
I mean, they even dress up like it.
They do. But in the interviews, like, Ryan Ross says, like, oh, no, like, we weren't trying to do that, man. It's like,
I don't think that's true.
I don't know.
They literally put on marching band uniforms at 9 in the afternoon. Like,
Precisely.
That's not true.
And you know that you feel it too, 'cause it's 9 in the afternoon, and your eyes are the size of the moon.
But, you know, it has, you know, it's got the horns, it's got the strings, the swirly twirliness of kind of psychedelic.
Yes.
But even some of the horns and the strings were mixed at Abbey Road Studios in London.
Yeah, y'all were definitely also doing drugs. So,
Right.
like, get over it.
Right.
Stop lying. We all know.
Because it has those, like, odd, like, quirky analogies and characters, you know, like the song The Piano Knows Something I Don't Know.
Yeah.
Like, you're oddly personifying things that
Yes.
you would only do if you were on drugs.
Drugs.
Drugs. Mad as Rabbits, trying to save the calendar business.
Oh, God. No. That song, y'all were definitely on something.
Oh, for sure. You know, Behind the Sea, Legs of Wood Waves, Waves of Wooden Legs.
This album is hella druggy.
Yeah. But that's fine, because it sounds really good. But it's definitely...
I mean,
you know,
that's my favorite. It's my favorite type of music. I love Sgt. Pepper.
That's true.
It's my favorite part of the time with the Beatles is their drug era. Like, it makes everyone better at music, so
sometimes.
start doing it. This is not a PSA for drug use on the podcast. Just if you're a musician and maybe you're going through a tough creative time.
Our listeners who, like, work for Dare are, like...
Yeah, we have a lot of
shaking.
those.
They're, like, sweating. And going, oh, my God. Not this promotion. But, yeah, you know, just things you would think of completely sober, right?
Yeah, totally.
Just thinking about the calendar business.
Yeah.
And, saying crap like "Post de cheval," you know, bulking around,
And saying it's 9 in the afternoon.
So, but no, they total 180. If you go listen to the first album, I mean, you probably know "I Write Sins, Not Tragedies."
Yeah, the first album is like emo.
It's like emo, like synth, pop punk driven kind of. It sounds nothing like this.
Not at all.
And so it's like a complete 180. Lots of strings, lots of horns, vibrato, modulation, switching of vocals. We got 2 vocalists, lots of harmonies, some movements.
We love movements.
And Rolling Stone famously said that it was one of the boldest moves in rock history to go from their first album to this.
It's quite bold.
It's very bold. And like, yeah, it's still pop punk, but it's gonna...
But very not punk.
It's gonna stand out like a sore thumb amongst their other 6 albums.
Absolutely. I mean, when they move on to Vices and Virtues, Vices and Virtues is almost more of a combination of the first 2, but
like
also still
steampunky.
very different. Yes. But, no, this one definitely stands out. It's the only swirly twirly one. It's very like even though like some, like even this song, like it sounds sad, and like some of the themes are like sad, but it all still like has like a positive type of tone, which is not necessarily the rest of Panic's vibe, being that they were, in the emo industry.
Precisely. For sure. And, signed to Pete Wentz's label, Fueled by Ramen. Other artists along that label, like, I think 21 Pilots is part of Fueled by Ramen. A couple others, it's like, yeah, they definitely fit
They have their
mold.
own
mold.
compartment.
Yes. So, but this album in particular, obviously, broke that mold. They didn't, especially in recent history on touring, they didn't really touch it. I mean,
No, only 9
in the afternoon because of its success, but it has the cult following. I mean, it's if you're a fan of Weezer, it's like the Pinkerton. It's the one that kind of flies under the radar, but people really love if they're like really big fans of the band. So, and did you know that the last song on the next album, Vices and Virtues, Nearly Witches, was actually written for this album, but they scrapped it because they didn't think it
And
fit.
Nearly Witches is so good.
It is, but
Ever since we met, I only shoot up with your perfume.
it does not fit.
No, it does not
Yes.
fit. It definitely fits Vices and Virtues.
Right.
Nearly Witches is probably the best song on Vices and Virtues.
It's probably the best way to close an album.
Yeah, but then
One of.
there's the deluxe version. That's 2 more songs on it.
That is true. But alas, still a very good song, just not this vibe.
No.
Talked about the writing process. It had 4 singles, 9 in the Afternoon famously, Mad as Rabbits, That Green Gentleman, and this one was the last single from the album. Written by Ryan Ross, he characterized it as the album's most meaningful song.
Yeah. A lot of the rest of it does seem like it could just be gibberish and really
Mumbo
really
jumbo?
not mean much. Yeah.
Correct. This is about kind of like the cycling of girlfriends on tour,
Oh.
and like the highs and lows, and
This
just,
song's
like,
about
love.
skanking it out.
I don't think skank. It's just like the progression of relationships with people
Okay.
that the band members had, like as
Okay.
they were touring.
Oh, I thought you meant like groupies.
No.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like
I was
genuine
like, this
relationships.
song doesn't
that
sound
they
like
had.
it's about that.
No, like
Okay.
genuine relationships they had. They were just like revolving because of the nature of their work,
Gotcha.
which is hard. A lot of songwriters end up writing about their misfortunes of love and romance on the road because it's extremely difficult. You always travel. I mean, most famously, the song "Faithfully," it's about by Journey. It's about being on the road and what it's like to, be in a relationship on the road, and especially as like you start to bring kids into the equation. Like obviously, none of them had brought kids into the equation. I don't think at this point, but like that makes it really hard. But now it feels like all famous people that we know that have had kids. And
That we know.
Well, I meant like
The
that
circles we run in.
right. We're just casual. We got a house in Brentwood where all those country singers are. Just our neighbors. But it seems like a lot of them, those kids end up being raised by like babysitters, you know, for most of
there's
the year.
lots of nannies. Or like if you're like people that are rich enough to like actually bring everyone on the road with
Right.
them, or maybe aren't rich enough but do it anyways, like Tony Finau.
Yes. Very sweet guy.
But his family, they go on the road the whole time.
I imagine, I love them. Love them. You know, Thomas Rhett, he's got, what, 4 now? 4 or 5? It's like, you're not doing it all. Because
No.
even his wife is like, now she's famous in her own regard.
Yeah. One thing about the country singers is, though, there's like the way country music, the way they tour is they only tour on the weekends.
Pretty much.
And they go back to Nashville.
But
They don't stay on the road for months and months. They like leave on
And they're
Thursdays
usually,
and they
like-
come back.
they usually out on the summer, too.
Yes, it's all like summer.
But he's also he's brought like them on the stage all the time. And
yeah.
he's got a bunch of reels with them in it and whatnot. So I believe he's present, but he's not doing it all.
No, they probably have help.
Which is fine. I mean, because they also have like, they're all within like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years of each
Jeez
other.
Louise,
Like
there's so
they're,
many of them.
yeah. But they're cute kids. They're a cute family.
They're cute. They
And
multiply.
that's not a dig. It just, due to the nature of the work, it makes things challenging.
Yeah.
You just have to think about stuff like that. But, yeah, just loving touring, cycling through girlfriends, reminiscing on good and bad times. You know, the tagline of "Hey Moon, please forget to fall down." Is it, in your opinion, like don't forget to fall down, as in trying to keep moving along with what's going on, or is it like trying to remain static in the?
I would think it'd be like, I don't want like I would think it'd be like specifically about the night. Like I want the next day to come.
Mm-hmm. I mean, please forget to fall down.
Yeah, you want the moon to fall down and the sun to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would always think it is.
It's very true. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting analogies and little aphorisms and similes and metaphors in this song.
All right. Keep throwing out
Literary
keep
terms.
throwing out those literary terms.
Look, I got to put the AP Lit knowledge to some use.
All right.
So, but and it obviously has the eclipse implications. Beautifully written song. You know, it's mostly just 2 chords. Goes from F to B flat, in case you're curious.
All right.
With a little variation, obviously, between pre-chorus and chorus, but it's pretty much so it's very simple, but it's very beautiful in that regard. You know, good songs don't always have to have these like complicated jazz chord,
Yeah.
diminished and suspended, the sus chords.
Bring back the simplicity.
Yeah, exactly. So there's beauty and simplicity, but there's also substance to it, right? Like it breathes. I love the way it ends. It ends with just the band singing, you know, the outro as the instruments fade out. And I've always loved the lead up from I Have Friends in Holy Spaces, the song before it, because it's just like a solo ukulele song from Brennan Urie. And he's only solely credited with 2 songs on this album, and that's that one and Folkin' Around, that were just him. And obviously he helped with some of the others, but and I don't think on the first album he had any writing credits, because he was more just a vehicle for the voice. But
That's fine. It's my least favorite, so.
I disagree. I mean, it's
Is your least favorite Pray for the Wicked?
no, my least favorite's probably Too Weird.
Oh.
And then I'd say the first one, then probably Pray for the Wicked.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
But
too.
we can get into a ranking of that another
right.
day, because that's a whole conversation.
I
we
can have a lot to say about
for
that.
sure. So, I mean, just to give you an idea of how little they touch it, you want to take a guess the last time it was played live by Panic at the Disco?
This song,
This song, Northern Downpour.
2009.
Whoa, close. Close.
2010.
It's 2011. Close enough. But I feel like this is like a fan favorite. Like if Brendan was to come out like with a solo guitar, solo piano, and play this, like the whole audience would just like
I think
tears.
so, because there's not a lot. I don't think there's really any other Panic song that sounds anything like this.
No.
Like a lot of them have sad like
Undertones,
implications,
yeah.
but like none of them like sound like this. Like this is a song that someone would like would cry to.
Yeah.
But not like emo scream cry, annoying person
Just
cry
like
to.
genuine.
Like you're like sad and you listen
Yeah.
to this and it's raining in the car and you're having your music video moment leaning on the window,
Right. But
looking at the rear view window. You
right.
know?
And it's like you're watching the world go by.
Yes.
No, I literally if he just like out of the blue pulled this one out, like people would lose their crap.
Absolutely.
So I ask you,
But
why do you think that, the stuff from Pretty Odd isn't touched? Is it just because, like, he doesn't feel like he can? Because it's not, or is it, he's felt that I've put out all this other work myself and feels very proud of it? Or
I think it's probably the latter. While I am one of his biggest fans, I would say, and especially just
Self-proclaimed.
personally of him and all my feelings towards Brendan Urie, I do think that he is probably incredibly conceited.
he's got the talent to back it up.
He does have the talent to back it up, which is why it doesn't make me mad. But I do think that he's very, like, formulaic. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, he has, like, every tour they go on, they do the same set every single night. I saw the same set, like, 3 different times on 3 different tours that were for 2 different albums. It's like, he's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and nobody's going to tell me not to. And
he's also a showman, so just
Yes.
putting it all together.
It really was never, like, fanfare. Like, there wasn't, like, he's not interested in what anyone else wants. He's really only interested in what he wants, which, like, did bother me sometimes, because I'd be like, I've seen the same show 3 times. This has been in 4 different years.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think he's like, this is not my vibe anymore. Like, I don't really care about it as much. Like, he would only really do, like, a verse and a chorus of 9 in the afternoon. I mean, and then from the first album, they would do I Write Sins because it's their most popular song, and still, and, well, maybe not.
I think it still is.
Hey Look Am I Made It hasn't
I don't
passed
think so.
It's still on the radio.
High Hopes.
Oh, High Hopes, no, yeah.
And then number 2, I Write Sins.
All right.
But House of Memories, because TikTok is number 3.
Yeah, House of Memories has really been growing.
It made a comeback.
And it's a good one.
It is.
But yeah, no. Not New Perspective being 5.
Well, it's grossing. It's not total number.
But still.
And it also recently got put on Spotify within, like, the last year or so.
What?
Last year or 2. It was only on Apple Music for a long time. And then they put it on Spotify definitely in the 2020s.
Maybe I've only had Spotify for that amount of time, and that's
You
why
have.
I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, you have. It never used to be on.
Oh, well.
But,
I guess it knew, like, one of its most loyal listeners had moved to Spotify, so it was like, I need to be on
would still
Spotify.
say that I Write Sins is bigger than High Hopes because I Write Sins existed like 10 years before Spotify. There's so much radio play and physical
Yes,
media
but
play.
in current day and age, High Hopes is definitely more popular.
For sure. But
Because
besides the point.
It's on the radio all the time.
Besides the point,
Still.
you're right, is a little...
I think he's a
Absorbed.
little up his own butt. And, like, I'm like we said, I think that he, of all people, like, is one of the most talented people walking the earth. Like, sure, if he wants to be up his own butt, like, be up there, bro.
Sure.
So, like, it's
Just don't
fine.
get lost.
Don't get lost. He's pretty small, so...
He's like 5'5",
He's
5'6".
like a real short king. I think he's 5'8". He's a little guy. But a lot of talent in that little body.
Yes, so he is 5'9", which is taller than I thought.
Yeah. He's a little package. But yeah, no, I think that he's worth feeling that way. His self-worth should be high. But he's not really interested in anything he doesn't want to do. He's not interested in playing to the fans. He never did meet and greets.
No.
I had at least one time been VIP at his concert, and you get to do basically everything but meet him. And there wasn't any tier above me that got to meet him. Like, he's like, no, not interested in that.
Get it? Sometimes, it's like the people that can afford to do VIP are one, either just really rich and that's just, they ended up buying that ticket and they're like, whatever, or it's like really weird people, so.
Well, one of them was me, and I don't think I'm either of those things. I think I was just a genuine fan of his art. Now, a lot of the people that were there with me were weird. Were super weird.
My thoughts exactly.
But there's some people that aren't weird.
Yeah, but it's not like he can, pre-check that when you
Well,
buy the ticket.
he did play into the weird.
Hey, are you weird?
He did play into the weird. I mean, bro, starting Kinky Boots.
quirky.
He's living the weird.
He's quirky.
So you're attracting the weird. You got to be okay with the weird.
Let him live his life, man. Got to. But, I mean, coolest thing he did recently, like on that last tour, he played the whole new album start to finish.
That was wild.
Nobody does that.
With the outfit on.
Yeah, nobody does that.
The Jonas Brothers did that.
A little different. Nobody does that. Playing brand new album start to finish.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone appreciated that. I liked it because
Loved it.
we really grew to like the last album,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that deterred a lot of people from it.
Sure did. But alas, it was their fault. They didn't get to go to the final tour.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
I think it just I think it's kind of sad, but it proved that like the last album a lot of people really didn't like. When we looked at like when he announced that it was like he was going to be done,
mm-hmm.
and you look at their last show, where was it in? Like
It was
Belgium
like somewhere,
or something?
yeah, it was somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in Europe, and like there were like tons of open seats at like what? Like I'm like you say that like you're gonna be done. I'm like thinking these last tour stops are going like way
Emma's
up.
like, how can we get to Europe?
I'm like, oh my god, like how are people not wanting to go? But and we even looked like a couple days before, remember?
Yeah,
and it was
still
like
wasn't.
still like it wasn't sold out. I'm like, so I think that's kind of sad, but I feel like it proved that like it kind of ended on like not the best
Sour,
note.
Yeah.
But we were fine with it.
Yeah, made a great time. Anything to add for a lady take to this song specifically?
You know, it makes me cry.
Mm-hmm.
It will make me cry. I remember when we were in high school and we both listened to this album a lot, and this song would make me cry because I would listen to it and I would get upset about you going to college.
Mm-hmm. I did that.
You did do that. And then I did it too. Now we've both
Funny.
since graduated. You multiple times, and here we are in Connecticut. So
How about
it's
it?
not really gonna make me sad about that anymore. But thinking about that is sad.
It's got the melancholic
yes, definitely.
to it.
Definitely. So it's definitely a song I think you can cry to, but like not. It's not gonna like once it's over, like it's gonna be okay.
For sure.
You know.
For sure. And now it's time for our segment portion of the show, with first being Emma's Everyday Jam. You know, we talk about my Monday Jam every week, but what is your Everyday Jam that you've been consistently bumping?
Honestly, I've been podcasting it for sure recently, but when in terms of songs, I have been trying to work out this week better. You know, it kind of fell off because I was a little ill, and then we were just so busy. There's just a lot of craziness going on right now. You know, we're getting married in a month and a half, so less than a month and a half. So
It's like a month and a week.
so our lives for the next 6 weeks are going to be pretty crazy. So I'm just trying to do my best, but I'm not
She's
being
out here
crazy.
doing
But a
her best.
good gym song that I was listening to yesterday at the gym, which you might not think about first time at the gym. You wouldn't think to listen to this, but Houdini by Foster the People.
Got shackles on my words are tight. Fear can make you compromise. Lasting up, it's hard to hide. Sometimes I wanna disappear.
Really good
It's on the running
gym
playlist.
song. It is a fun song. It's loud. My gym music, I really don't want to hear myself breathing. That's the number one thing. I do not want to hear myself breathing because if you're a girly like me that maybe is not the skinniest lady at the gym, if you hear yourself breathing, you're like, oh my God, I am the big old girl in the corner that can't catch your breath. And that makes you feel bad. And so I just don't want to hear myself breathe. Everybody else can hear it. That's fine. If I don't hear it, I don't think it's happening. So it's a good, nice, loud gym song.
Actually, heard that one on Life with John Mayer this morning.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
and
that
I was
man.
tempted to send you a picture because I was like, truly, that is one of us.
That man knows what we want to listen to.
But yeah, I heard it this morning. Yeah, it's also on my running playlist.
It's a banger.
You know, it's there's something exercise worthy of the line, like sometimes I want to disappear, you know, because you're just disappearing in your exercise. Letting off
I think
some
you
steam.
think a lot more vocally and lyrically about songs you listen to at the gym, and I'm just like, is it loud and fast? That's all
And does it have Pitbull?
And does it have Pitbull? That's all I really care about.
Cool. Now moving to our major minor chords, which is the segment in which we talk about our respective highs and lows of the week. What do you have?
My minor chord is that because I was able to we were going home and did wedding stuff. I had to work 8 days in a row because I shifted my schedule, which I was grateful I was
Your
able
schedule,
to do
you
that.
mean?
My schedule. I was grateful I was able to do that. But it has meant that I've worked 8 days in a row, including the Iowa LSU game on Monday, which was like the highest viewed sporting event almost of the year, which is pretty crazy. But it was a lot of attention, and I took it all on myself because I had some schedule changes at work, which kind of left me being the only person that really fully knew what to do. And yeah, so it was a lot.
It worked in your favor, though. You did well.
You know, it was really great. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it was pretty exhausting. It was like working the college football national championship again, which seems crazy. It was a women's basketball game, and it was the Elite Eight. It wasn't even the national championship.
Right.
Which is pretty cool that was the case. And I felt like a cool lady in sports that I was like involved in it, you know. But yeah. So it's been a little stressful, but today is the final day of the 8-day stretch, and then I will have my normal weekend again. So I'm very excited about that. And then next week I have my bachelorette, which is also very exciting. But my current major chord is that on Saturday I'm going to go down to the city with Miss Alice, and we're gonna go on a cherry blossom I was about to call it a scavenger hunt, but I don't have to find anything. I know where they are. Just a cherry blossom tour. We're going to go, like, I found this reel that's, like, all the different places you should go to look at the cherry blossoms. So we're going to do at least 2 of them. And we're also going to get, like, cute, like, brunch cocktails.
The weather should be nice, too.
Yes, and the weather should be nice. And I've been y'all know I'm a bitch for transit. Y'all know I like an interesting mode of transportation.
She's a floral girl, too.
Yeah, and I love flowers, trees, greenery. So this is really exciting. But one of the best places to see the cherry blossoms in the city is on Roosevelt Island. And you can take a little tram. You can also take the subway, but I don't want to take the subway. I want to take the tram. There's a little tram. It's like a Skyliner. Over to it. It's the price of the subway, and I've been dying to ride the Skyliner, the little tram, to Roosevelt Island. So we're going to go, and I'm so excited to ride the tram and to see the cherry blossoms.
Have fun with that.
Yes.
Oh, man. Minor occurred this morning. Went to follow. I had to get my blood tested, you know, like yearly. You just be doing that.
Warning for the squeamish.
Yeah, so I've always been rather squeamish. It's gotten better in recent history, I would say. But, like, when they're drawing my blood, I'm still not looking at it kind of thing. You know, like
if you are looking at it, though, I think you might be a little screwed up. Like, why do you...
You're a medical professional or one aspiring to be in the field.
Yeah. But
alas, I'm looking out the window. And normally it's never an issue, like the pinch, whatever, just looking out, it's fine, whatever. I get a cup of water and then I leave. It was like you could hear a pin drop in there. It was so quiet. And nice nurse lady. This is gross. Nice nurse lady. If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead like a minute. Nice nurse lady, you know, being very helpful, but then, like, she's taking my blood, and, like, you can hear it enter the vial.
That's so gross.
And the worst part is she acknowledged it. She was like, "Oh, you hear that?" And I was like,
That's crazy.
I was not the biggest fan.
Ew. Why'd you have to say anything?
So that was that. And that's
nasty.
Big minor. I had to sit in the car for a second and just, like, think about something else.
Did you go get a treat like I told you to?
No.
Lame.
Why did, like, I was in the middle of doing laundry. I had to come back and switch it over. So that's definitely a minor. A major, I think, just because these next couple weeks are going to be really exciting. They're going to be really busy, but and just trying to be intentional about being present in all of it. So it's going to fly by, but it's all going to be good. So we're looking forward to it.
Yay.
Last but not least, we'll cover our honorable mentions, the songs that almost made the cut or follow kind of a similar vibe of the episode this week. First being the other Eclipse song from this album, When the Day Met the Night by Panic at the Disco. Check it out.
But her eyes saved his life in the middle of summer. In the middle of summer, all was golden in the sky. All was golden when the day met the night.
Second one up just has been on heavy rotation for me. It's one of the newer Dead songs. Didn't come in until like later in the career, like late 80s, early 90s, so it didn't get a lot of plays, you know, because the Dead
Super new.
Dead stopped being a thing in like 94. Foolish Heart by the Grateful Dead. Go check it out. It's a nice little ditty. It gets stuck in your head.
Never give your love, my friend, unto a foolish heart. Unto a foolish heart.
And last but not least, this past week, Vampire Weekend released their new album, Only God Was Above Us. So go check out the song Mary Boone. It's very good.
Mary Moon, will I help you feel like loving someone soon?
That's going to do it for us this week, folks. Appreciate the like, the subscribe, the follow, the comment, all of the good stuff. And we shall see you next week.